Donald Trump is facing another accuser, a woman who is now detailing her experience many years ago with Donald Trump and the horrible experience that she alleges he put her through. This one has some extra details that make it perhaps a little bit more noteworthy considering the news of the past couple of years, in that this one involves Jeffrey Epstein. And so she is saying that there was an incident in Trump Tower back in 1993 in which Donald Trump groped her, seemingly in league with Jeffrey Epstein, who was there. And we're gonna give you all of the details. The woman is Stacey Williams, worked as a professional model in the 1990s, said she first met Trump in 1992 at a Christmas party after being introduced to him by Epstein, who she believed was a good friend of Donald Trump. Williams said Epstein was interested in her and the two casually dated for a period of a few months. Quote, it became very clear that he and Donald were really, really good friends and spent a lot of time together. And that certainly appears to be true. They apparently were friends for many years. That doesn't mean that Donald Trump was involved in all of the other things, but something to think about. But anyway, the actual alleged groping occurred months later in the late winter or early spring of 1993. Little trivia for you, that was the year that Donald Trump married Marla Maples. But anyway, she was walking with Epstein and they were near Trump Tower. Epstein said that he wanted to stop by to see Donald Trump, and so they went to the tower. And only moments after they arrived, according to her allegations, Trump greeted Williams, pulled her toward him, and started groping her. She said he put his hands all over my breasts as well as her waist and her buttocks. She said she froze because she was deeply confused about what was happening. At the same time, she said she believed she saw the two men smiling at each other. And obviously for many people, this sort of incident is going to sound reminiscent of what Donald Trump described to Billy Bush, that you just grab them. You grab them immediately. When you're famous, they let you do it. I don't believe that, but Donald Trump does. He's on tape. And that was before deepfakes MAGA movement, so you don't get to say this one doesn't count. In any event, he apparently later sent her a postcard via courier with an aerial view of Mar-a-Lago that said, Stacy, you're home away from home. Love, Donald. She met him at Trump Tower. Why he is sending a shot of his home and implying that she could live there some of the time in the year where he married one of his multiple wives. All of this is super weird, and what she's describing is a sexual assault. Now, by the way, the actual postcard we've showed you, it exists. Again, that's his handwriting. It looks like a seismograph. I don't understand how a human would write that way, but we've seen it before. And to be clear, there are at least two friends of hers who spoke to The Guardian and attested to her having previously discussed this sexual assault as far back as 2005, 2006, and 2015. So those are two different women, and we can get into that. But look, for some people, I don't know, Trey, she's now what, the 25th, 28th, 31st woman that's accused him. America does not appear to have very much cared about any of the dozens that came before. I feel terrible for the experience that she had, both with Donald Trump and also she dated Jeffrey Epstein, which is its own unique nightmare.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
I mean, yeah, it's like you said, it immediately calls to mind the Billy Bush tape, and we were talking earlier about how never seen anybody like him. The endless flood of scandals and everything. That was like that one for me personally. That one was the one that really broke all that open, where I realized that we're dealing with something different when it came to him. Because like I actually still thought when that tape came out in the run up to the 2016 election, I was like, okay, well, that's pretty bad. I mean, he's on, like this will have some effect because it was in a what had been a pre-Trump world where you couldn't wear the wrong suit or forget a flag lapel pin or make an odd noise, on the campaign trail without paying electoral consequences for it. And then when that amounted to nothing, that's when I was like, oh, okay, so we're dealing with something different here. And like I said earlier, because of that and all the other experiences, and yeah, we're up in the 20s now with women making various accusations against him, and it doesn't seem to have slowed him down at all. So I just, I don't see any reason to think that this would either. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like a stark and upsetting reminder of the current state of affairs with with him and with his treatment of women and with his continuing prominence as a near deity to 40% of Americans or whatever, in spite of all that. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's incredibly frustrating. I don't understand it, and I know the right will be like, yeah, anyone could just make an accusation. Anyone could accuse a presidential candidate of doing this. Yeah, that is true. Why doesn't that happen then? Generally, I mean, we're a country of 300 million people. Why does that not tend to happen? Why is it that it seems to have only happened to the guy who is on tape saying that when he sees a woman he's attracted to, he grabs her genitals? He described routinely sexually assaulting people. The guy who hangs out with Jeffrey Epstein and knows that he likes them young. Why is it only him, seemingly? I don't know. I mean, anybody could claim that Harris did this. Doesn't seem like it's happening. Anyway, again, I'm in a slightly cynical mood when it comes to the American electorate's ability to process information, but yeah, it's bad. It's bad. And look, I don't know if he will respond to this. If he does, it's going to be the worst thing that you'll see for days. He has previously, of course, warded off some of his many accusations of sexual assault by saying that he didn't sexually assault this woman. She's not hot enough for him to have sexually assaulted, which is the best way to respond to that. In this case, he doesn't even necessarily need to do that because his base, even some people who generally have been critical of him, are coming out to do it for him. I'll give you one example. Eric Erickson tweeted, "Say what you will about Trump, and I will, but he has a type, blonde. This lady who waited until now does not fit Trump's type. No, I do not believe it. 13 days before the 2024 election. Why is it in stars? Anyway, my surprise is that her last name is not Ford, nor her first name Christine. You get it? You get it? Because the Supreme Court justice was accused of rape. And you remember when Donald Trump had the FBI not investigate it? We just found out about that weeks ago, and Eric Erickson is pretending that we didn't just find out that they literally didn't do an investigation. Donald Trump apparently believes that he raped that woman. Why else would you tell the FBI not to look into it? But anyway, we do have to evaluate, Trey, the evidence here. Trump has a type, blonde, and this woman is not blonde. And so obviously he'd never be interested in a woman who's not blonde.
Yeah.
Like his current wife.
Right. Yeah. Since
They're
like
the
case
dumbest
closed.
people in the world. I don't get it. Again, I think we need to look, I don't often extend a lot to Donald Trump, but I believe that he is a complex enough human that he can be attracted to and then sexually assault women of multiple hair colors. I think he is that, if nothing else. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I definitely think he's got it in him. I wouldn't put it past him for sure. I mean, that's just the silliest, flimsiest defense I can. I mean, I don't even know why even to offer a defense of him in this scenario. If that's all you're going to say is that he clearly only assaults blondes. What are we talking? Because that's also the funny part too. It's like it's kind of implying that like, sure, some of these I buy. So let's say he's assaulted, I don't know, 20 women, but only blonde ones, and she's not blonde, so this one doesn't count. It's still like any way you look at it, it's not the most reassuring defense if you have a heart or a brain or care about the truth or any of those things.
100%. Yeah, like he's been accused by dozens of women, and it barely seems to matter. Like I can't say it barely matters. I know a lot of people will like see a thing that could have an effect. And if he still got into office once, they'll say, well, then it didn't have an effect. No, that's not necessarily how it works. He could be more popular amongst Republican women if not for that stuff. So we can't discount it. What I can say is it has not had nearly enough of an effect. Again, you're right. Like there was a guy, I forget the senator's name, called a person in a crowd macaca, and that was it for him. That was it. He lost the election. Donald Trump has sexually assaulted dozens of women that we know of. And apparently some of them, and I understand why you wouldn't want to come forward because she's definitely getting death threats literally right now. How many are there that do not want to deal with that and have not come forward? Like, would you actually bet money that it's not hundreds? I don't know. I can't say. We literally don't know, but it's just insane to me. Insane to me that he is anywhere near 50%.